Hi, I'm Sonia, and I like to talk about manifestation from my own personal experience. In this video, I want to talk about what happens when you actually commit yourself to changing your mindset, when you pick what you want to be true and you keep coming back to it, things that you will start to notice as you are doing that. I was thinking about that a little bit this morning, and then I was going through my comments and trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about. And I actually got a couple comments from somebody who has been consistently applying what I am teaching in Learn to Manifest, which is my manifestation course program thing here on YouTube, where I teach, speak on, give advice to whatever it is. I decided that I wanted to make a series of videos where I talk about how I wish I would have manifested if I could go back and teach myself how to manifest. And that would be what Learn to Manifest is. Yeah, I know. It's a very simple title. I couldn't be bothered to come up with something better. But this person has been following for 3 weeks now. They left a couple comments that pertain to this topic, so I'm going to go through what they were saying and speak on this because I think it is something that is kind of overlooked. It's something that I know I did not understand when I first started to really understand what manifesting is, and that it's your thoughts, and that affirmations are just the thoughts you would have if you had what you want and what you want was true, and bringing yourself back to it, and how when you consistently do that, your brain changes. I did not understand that, and when I was thinking about creating Learn to Manifest, that was something that I thought a lot about, of if I could go back and try to explain to the version of me who didn't have the experiences to understand what I was saying, what would I have done with her to help her to have those experiences to then understand what I'm saying. I have realized that there is no amount of talking about this that is going to get you to understand it. The way that you get to understand it is by experiencing it for yourself, which is funny because that's what I was reading. I was reading Neville this morning, and that's what Neville was talking about. And that's one of his things that is thrown around quite a bit in this community. You can't just be hearers of the law, you have to be doers. Until you apply it and actually experience the change for yourself, it doesn't matter that you have all that information. There's a famous quote or saying from, I don't know who originally said it, but knowledge is only power if you use it. The law is only your power if you use it. And I guarantee you, if you do it and do it consistently, it is going to surprise you what is not only going to happen outside of you, but what's going to happen inside of you. The way that your brain works is going to change, and then everything else is going to start changing too. So I'm just going to read the comments and we'll kind of go through them and talk about some different things that come up when your brain starts to change. My automatic thinking has definitely changed after 3 weeks of your affirmations. I've been experiencing people acting differently toward me in a positive way, but I feel neutral about it. It's been a little weird. I feel so powerful. It's a little scary sometimes. So three, they are the 3 weeks of affirmations that they're talking about is the first set of affirmations that I give you in Learn to Manifest, which is all pertaining to your belief in manifestation, your understanding of manifestation, your belief choice that everything is possible for you, and that you don't know how, you don't have to know how things are going to work out for you. I remember for me, the biggest mistake that I made in the beginning was not being consistent. I was constantly changing my affirmations. I was constantly looking outside of me for validation. I wanted proof that it was working, and I never just stuck to anything long enough for it to actually work. Breaking that addiction to looking outside of you is extremely uncomfortable. But if you are going to continue to look outside of you to choose how you are going to think, nothing else in your life can change. So after 3 weeks of consistently affirming just for a belief in manifestation, basically, this person's already seeing a difference in the way that people act toward them. The person also, I remember a couple weeks ago, said that their SP showed back up in their life after being no contact for a while. This also goes back into the last video that I posted, the last video I recorded, where I was talking about how everything is interconnected and how it you won't see how it's all interconnected until you're through it, and then you look back and you'll see it. But I think the 4 affirmations I give in the first part are: I believe in manifestation. I believe in manifestation. I know everything there is to know about manifesting and fully understand it. Everything is possible for me, and I get everything I need and want, even if I don't know how. The reason I don't just know those affirmations off the top of my head is because those were all affirmations and mindsets that I had to adopt as I went on my own journey with manifesting, but I never used them specifically or consistently. But if I could go back and redo it, that's why I put them in there. Those are the affirmations that they've been saying to themselves, and they're noticing that people are acting differently toward them. There's not a single affirmation in there about people or any of that. And when you commit yourself to a change in you, you will start to see the change outside of you too. People have been acting different toward me in a positive way, but I feel neutral about it. It's been a little weird. The little weird part, it is weird. When things start to change and there's no logical explanation for the change, your brain wants to give you a logical explanation. And I feel like this is why a lot of people fail or quit or walk away from manifesting, is because they can't get over that logical side of them, right? That breaking the addiction to the 3D, breaking your belief systems and thinking of things differently is very weird. And then actually seeing change is also weird because, again, a lot of times logically, none of it makes sense, and your brain wants it to make sense. And what's interesting and what you'll start to notice is the what makes sense, quote unquote, to you is going to change depending on what you believe. And until you actually see from a choice you make your belief system change, which your belief system's changing all the time, you're just not thinking of it as something that you have that much control of. It is weird. And I remember when I did start act, and I wasn't even like super committed to my affirmations, but I do remember waking up and thinking my affirmations one day, and it was like the most off-putting weird experience I'd ever had. It's like, whoa, what are these thoughts? This isn't what I usually think in the morning. So I definitely, I get that. I feel so powerful. It's a little scary. It's a little scary sometimes. Yeah, that part. That was me too. And for me, it was, oh man, it definitely, not understanding what manifesting was for so long, having been trying to figure it out for so long, and then it starting to make sense. And the more that I did it, I had a really hard time accepting that it was just my thoughts and that I have power over or control over everything, because I can think whatever I want about anything. It was overwhelming. And I know that for me, I don't know how to word this. It's like I put the brakes on it, kind of. I, out of that overwhelm and that fear, and that, again, going back to that kind of logical thinking, I kept myself stuck for a long time, and I made my journey or my shift take a lot longer than it needed to, because I didn't have the foundation in place to easily make that shift. And that was another thing that thinking back of how I would have taught myself and how I would have done it, I would have built out that foundation first so that as I started to build on it, it I didn't have that uncertainty and fear, honestly, of my power and my ability to choose and that I was going to make the right choice. A lot of things, like I said, it all interconnects, and that was also overwhelming. And I don't think I was aware of I was aware of it, that it was overwhelming, but I don't think that in the moment I could articulate what was going on. But yeah, I feel so powerful. Sometimes I feel so powerful, it's a little scary sometimes. Yeah. That you get more used to it, and it becomes your normal to question what you're accepting as true. It becomes something that you do on autopilot. Just like you don't think about it right now, you will naturally catch yourself and go, is that what you want to be thinking? No, change it. It doesn't it's a habit. If you want to floss your teeth every day and you don't floss your teeth right now, you have to build that habit of doing it every day to be the person who flosses their teeth every day. It's why a lot of yoga practices, they will tell you to do it for 7 days in a row, not because you're going to get magical results from coming 7 days in a row your first week, but if you come 7 days in a row, you're going to start seeing yourself as the person who does yoga all the time. And you'll be more likely to be consistent with it because that's part of who you are. That is your habit. This is no different. And it because it's all interconnected and it is your whole life, it can be a lot. So yeah, I very much so resonated with that. I feel so powerful. It's a little scary sometimes. I think I think that's kind of normal. I've realized, yes, my mind is shifting, but it's also bringing up the negative stuff that I have suppressed for so long. But it's becoming more automatic to get into observer mode and not identify with certain parts of myself that I am letting go, which is what I was just saying. It gets easier to put yourself in that observer mode, to bring yourself back, presence, awareness, choice, bring yourself back to the present moment, be aware of what you're thinking, and remember that you have a choice about it, that your power comes from that I can make a choice. And again, the more you do that and you realize, oh, I can make a choice about this, and I can make a choice about this, and I can make a choice about this, there are probably going to be things that 6 months from now, a year from now, have going to be been things that have bothered you your whole life, but it'll be in that moment where you catch yourself and realize you have a choice about it and can choose something different and will feel comfortable and confident to make that choice. And it's not about beating yourself up. Again, it's about having that foundation and that understanding and all the support systems, having a web of support instead of a web of destruction going on, that makes this so much easier. But that again comes through consistency and getting that mindset to change and doing it and seeing it work, being doers of the law and not just hearers, as Neville Goddard would say. I realize my mindset is shifting, but it's also bringing up the negative stuff that I've suppressed for so long. Yeah. This is why I say all the time, if you need to go to therapy or you need to go and work through some of your shit, go do that. If you can't just do it with your thoughts and there's like stuff that you keep banging your head up against the wall, there's no shame in getting help moving through that. The way I look at it is you can either keep yourself stuck forever or you can do something about it. And in my opinion, if you're going to choose to stay stuck, you don't get to bitch, whine, moan, and complain about it. You're choosing that for yourself. In my experience, there are things that are very easy to just shift and let go of and be like, yeah, I'm done with that. And there are other things that it may take a little bit more time and a little bit more effort to really break that pattern. And I hate to say heal from it, but in a sense, that's kind of what you're doing. I really don't like the emphasis on social media around manifestation about getting things instantly and the within 3-day idea. Now, is it possible? Yes. Can you get there? Absolutely. But where I was when I started, that idea hindered me for so long because it kept me reliant on looking outside of me to make sure things were working. If this is going to change in 3 days, then shit better be happening to prove to me that it's working or it's not going to work in 3 days. What was my mindset? That it's not working and I hope it does, not I have it and I don't have to worry about it. And that being able to put yourself in that I have it and I don't have to worry about it comes from having a solid foundation in your belief system to support that, and two, having experiences to back it up, which is also, interestingly enough, exactly what Neville was talking about in what I was reading this morning. He was talking about how as you have more experiences with it, your belief in it grows and your understanding of it grows, just like anything. If you want to learn how to play a musical instrument or you want to learn a second language or a third language, you don't start by playing the hardest song ever written or trying to have a conversation with somebody who's fluent in whatever language you want to learn. You don't have the understanding of all of the parts that make up a song or make up a language to have a conversation in that language or to play a song that you can't even hold the guitar. This is no different. Yes, you have been doing it your whole life. The reason I say that is so that you understand that it's not some magical woo woo. I don't even know. I don't even know what kind of bullshit I used to think this was. I say that so that you understand that the way that you are thinking right now is manifesting perfectly. And it's in the changing the mindset and the thought processes consistently coming back to it that gets it to change inside your head and in your life. You cannot expect to become a different person and hold on to all the negative shit. I know you didn't want to look at it, and it's not about like digging through it and doing things with it. It's about, again, presence, awareness, choice, and bringing yourself back and understanding yourself better, seeing what stuff comes up all the time for you. The stuff that you comes back to you, 50 times a day, that's something that you need to do something about. And that's where you have to bring yourself back into that presence awareness choice. It's not only about the choice about what you're going to think about it, but it's okay, is this something that is a mindset problem that I need to address? Is this something that has been on my to-do list and I just haven't gotten it done? What is the problem and what do I need to do about it? Remembering that it always starts with your mindset. If the mindset isn't there, nothing else is going to matter. Your mindset is everything. And that's where I don't like talking about inspired action. I've talked about that before. But though I think what I would have been would what would have been more helpful for me when it came to talking about inspired action and what you're going to do when it comes to getting what you want is what I am doing with you guys and Learn to Manifest. Work on the mindset. Commit yourself to just doing the mindset. Live your life exactly like you're living it now, but add in times where you're going to choose to affirm some affirmations and watch it change your brain and your outer experience. Because then you start to understand what's happening, and you're building a foundation that's going to support whatever it is that you want moving forward, including being that person who can manifest anything instantly or within 3 days. Whatever, where time is just like you don't even think about it and things happen. For me personally, if you're interested, I don't care about time. I don't pay attention to time. I just bring myself back to that things are going the way I want them to go and things are good, and it happens when it happens. To me, that doesn't mean, oh, it's going to take 2,000 years for it to happen. It's done. The more I sit here and worry about time and look outside of me for proof of time, I'm not thinking from the right mindset. I don't have the right mindset. Because ultimately, everything, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. I mean, now we're going on a tangent about time, and I wasn't expecting to go there, but I'm thinking of what are they called? Time crunch manifesting. Time crunch manifesting only exists if you believe that it does. You're supposed to be telling yourself what you want to be true. If you have what you want and are coming back to that, or it is going to happen by the time you need it and you're coming back to that, there is no time crunch. The reason there's a time crunch is because you're looking outside of you and you haven't broken what I was talking about in the beginning, that addiction to choosing how you're going to think based on what you're currently experiencing. As long as you do that, nothing else can change because you're not changing. The thing that would have helped me the most was taking a step back, building my foundation through consistency and repetition of the same stuff that was going to give me something to build on. Which is why I structured Learn to Manifest the way that I did. And I think that that is really important, especially now. Like the person who left these comments has one more week of affirming those base manifesting concepts, and then from there goes into self-concept affirmations. I think for me, I would have been I know for me, I was trying to do all of it at once, and that was too much. I wish I would have done it in sections and really committed myself to just changing my mindset and seeing it work, and then building it a little bit at a time, just so one, I wasn't doing it 24/7, and two, there was less things for me to be looking outside of myself for. Did I do my 10 minutes 3 times today? Did I do my 20 minutes 3 times today? Yeah, okay, then that's all I can do. It's very much like working out, which this, looking back, I've talked about my fitness and health and whatever weight loss journey in other videos, but the thing that I noticed that is different about my mindset this time is I understand now what I was missing before. Before, it was I treated weight loss and exercise the way I was treating manifesting, and this is why both weren't working for me. It was do, more, crash and burn, and wonder why I failed. And what it actually is supposed to be is I did all I can do, and the rest is taken care of. So when it comes to exercise, did I do my workouts? Did I eat the way I wanted to eat? Did I do all the things I committed myself to doing? Yeah. Okay, well then the rest is out of my control. If I got my exercise in and I ate in a calorie deficit, what the fuck else am I supposed to do to get the fat to come off? Oh, except for maybe stop telling myself I'm fat and that I'll never lose the weight. Never did that. That's the difference this time. And I started with that, and then the rest of the stuff fell into place. because that's how it works. You'll always be proven right in what you accept as true. Until you see that for what it is by actually changing something about you, it's hard to understand what that means. I don't care if you choose to follow Learn to Manifest. That is a resource that is on here for you guys if you want to see how I would do things. If I could go back and teach myself, but I promise you, if you lack dedication, if you lack consistency, if you lack the repetition of bringing yourself back and learning to be aware of what you are thinking in the present moment and make a choice about it, presence awareness choice, you're not doing what you need to get your life to change. Because it does start with your mindset. Your actions and what you are going to do is always going to be reliant on your mindset. And once you see that for what it is, you can't unsee it either, and you start to make a lot of different choices because you realize that you can. And you realize that by thinking about things differently, you're going to have different thought processes about the situation than when you bitch, whine, moan, and complain about it all the time. But again, until you experience it for yourself and you actually do all of the things and you start to break that addiction to your physical world, and you stop questioning if it's working and you decide that it's working and you keep coming back to it and you do your affirmations or your visualizations or whatever, and you decide that it's enough. Just like if you are lifting weights and you want to put on muscle, you did what the trainer was telling you to do, and it was enough. The rest will take care of itself. This is the same way. You did what you need to do, you're doing it to the best of your ability, and it's going to work. But that takes doing it regardless of anything else. Well, I don't feel like it. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't know that it's working. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. I was talking about in another video I filmed recently about how it doesn't always feel good. It's not always fun and exciting to choose my thoughts, but I know what happens when I don't. So that's why I choose to do it to the best of my ability. I'm sure there's all kinds of thoughts that I think throughout the day that could probably go. And guess what? They may eventually come across, they'll either just go away and not be a problem, or eventually I will catch them and do something about them. But I've gotten to that point by doing it and doing it consistently. And that is what has built the belief in my choice to believe. Whatever you tell yourself is true, and you're going to be proven right. And once you realize you always have a choice, that's when you realize you were powerful the whole time and just didn't know it. Thank you so much for watching. Love and light.